Here we are with episode 12 of Orb on the movements of the Earth. Let's see how the dialogue between Novak, Badeni, and Oxy goes on. Let's watch it together. Yeah. Proud, eh? Badeni tell her. Okay, what kind of vision of the cosmos? No, why do you want to see? So if you don't suspect, you don't need to see? Badeni, don't do that. Oh, okay. Probably he wrote other papers and he will show those. He will never show anything about that. It's okay. Because he left there just the things that he knew that it was okay to keep. Good job, Badeni. Oh, oh. You're silly, not just now, every time, but don't trust Novak and what he says. Probably he left something over there to spy on you. I think it was better to change the location, you know? Yeah. Yeah, it's better. Fortunately. Otherwise, yeah. Because he met Rafal, so he knew about that necklace. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Grasso was giving him. Yeah. No, no, he didn't forget at all. He pretended to fake that he forgot. Exactly. Go ahead. I think he's waiting for you outside. Be careful. I don't know. He's gonna burn everything anyway. No, they are going to separate. I hope they will meet again. Okay, yes. That's what I hoped. You can't give him something, no? Again. Yeah, because you wanted to do everything by yourself. I know why you do it, but it's wrong anyway. Oh, finally Oxy complains. Okay. Say what you think. Yes, that's what I said. That's exactly what I said. Okay. Come on, he's listening, so say. But he couldn't find anything because he wanted to do everything by himself. There's no difference. Yeah, I am glad that Oxy revealed to be a great character. Yeah. No. Yeah, you need a counterpart. Yeah, that's the same thing of a church. The previous experiences. Yeah. Yeah, like Rafal actually. Yeah, then it gives you strength somehow. Yeah, it's very scary, but it can help you. Yeah. Yet all these things don't have to finish with you, but they have to go on. Yeah. Oh, come on, you can trust Oxy. Don't go away from him. Ah. That's the contrary. No. Oh, okay. But that's true. In fact, it's the contrary. Okay, let him think. At the end of the day, he will search for you. It was good that Oxy could say what he thought. I don't think he will burn all the books. In the meantime, he is thinking, so. He comes back. What the F? He was there anyway. I think. Yes, he called them. I mean, Novak called them. Predictable. Um, what? Only 5 minutes. See, Badeni, you always wanted to do everything by yourself. Uh, who cares about the letter? There's no time. No F way. If you had other people sharing, it would have been different. Yeah, because it's reaching Violenta, right? Uh, but Violenta will discover that, I'm sure. One day you will be exposed, Novak. I can't wait for that. No, we are pissed off of your behavior. He can write it because he knows how to read and write. Yeah, tell him. Yeah. Okay, just 5 more minutes. He's gonna help you, Badeni, so you should feel grateful about that. Mm. Don't risk your life, Oxy, please. No, don't risk. Yeah, okay, but don't die. I don't want you to die. Who cares? Yeah. I don't think you also understand. No problem. He has a different vision now. He wants to thank you. Yeah. Wow, Oxy, what an evolution. So great. No, not at all. Theology can't demonstrate that hell exists. Yeah, the most important thing is that you don't regret. Yeah, in fact, he accepts what you say, but he doesn't agree. Oh! Wow! Look, if he survives, you have to take him with you, eh? Wow, he's going to benedict him. Let's see. Yes, 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 yes. But I hope he will not die. So they will go on together. Come on, Oxy. Hang in there for 5 minutes. Man, Novak, I hope that Yolenta will see you like this. You are the devil on earth. Oh, the necklace! Actually, he's a faith, so. Let's see if you see that necklace, Novak. Do you remember? See, they don't want to talk. They don't care what you have to say. Oh. Wow, Oxy. You're risking a lot today. See, they are recruiting people to do these evil things. But what duty? Yeah, he's there, he's forced to do it, let's say. Can he rebel? I don't think so. Yeah, possessed by the devil. Yeah, they are all possessed by devils. Okay. We know that. No, true warrior is something else, a quotation of Vinland Saga. See how they can convince these people so easily with a few words? Oh, he escaped! Well done, but no! Oh oh. Wow, can you imagine if he defeats Novak? Then they have to explain everything to Yolenta. Go, Oxy. I'm on your side. As I was predicting, Oxy's character is great. I realized that from the moment he decided to do what Grass was asking him to do, that means to reach that little village, to go and find the Badeni, and to explain everything to him without criticizing him or condemning him or denouncing him in front of others. And Oxy made a great evolution as a character. He started with some preconcepts, but he was smart enough to open his eyes and to will to change, because if he wants to change, it's up to him only, right? As much as for everybody else. And he tried to do that. He discussed his own concepts and his own beliefs, and then he decided to open up to a new vision and believe in these. So when we talk about faith, it's not just religious faith. You are strong in the moment you fight for your beliefs, no matter what they are. And you can create your own faith that is not a religious one, based on whatever you want. And the most important thing is that you keep believing in these things. You are ready to fight for those things. And you're not ashamed to believe in those things. So I think that Oxy made a great lesson to Badeni today. In this episode, Badeni, for the first time, was taught by somebody else, because usually he was the one who had a smart intellect and had the courage or the will to spread his ideas, to have a sort of authority on them, because he was considering himself a genius, let's say, with a smart intellect and with the possibility, the only one to have the possibility to spread those new researches that he himself found. But in this episode, you understand that you don't need just intellect to work on something. You need a counterpart. You need also feelings, and Oxy and Badeni are the perfect combination if you think about that. What Oxy was explaining to Badeni is exactly what I explained to you some episodes ago. So but then he needs to trust people more. He was focusing too much on his previous experiences, and those experiences were pretty tragical. We know that. He was betrayed by his best friend. And after that, he preferred a lonely life. He preferred to be like a hermit, let's say, who didn't trust anybody and who was focusing himself just on what he was thinking without asking help, without being helped by somebody else, because he wanted to carry these huge burden by himself. I'm not talking about heliocentrism only, I'm talking about everything that was happening in his life. He was always reluctant to get in touch with other people so deeply. But I think Oxy explained to him a great thing. He said, look, without the help of somebody else or without having a counterpart, you are going to become a Piast 2.0. So it's pointless what you do. You're just going to repeat the Piast mistake, and just because you always wanted to do everything by yourself. And yeah, he was repeating, I mean, but then he was repeating, even in these episodes, I wanted to do everything by myself. Nobody has to get in touch with my researches, only I can go forward with those. It means I don't want to share with you my researches because I am afraid that you're going to betray me as much as my best friend did. Or I don't want to share your researches because I want the credit for all of these. It depends on the context, but in this case, he doesn't want to share anything because he's afraid of losing other people who he trusted. But I think that in this case, he can trust Oxy so much because he proved Badeni that he's ready also to die for all these, to protect him, but also and especially to protect the researches, because those researches are going to change the world. And if Badeni wants to go on with those researches, he needs a different point of view. He needs an external point of view. And Oxy is pretty humble. He doesn't say that he's so smart or he's a genius or whatever, but he can contribute to help him as much as Oxy helped Piast in the moment that they had to see that Venus was full. Do you remember? At that time, only Oxy was able to have that eyesight that was precise. Piast couldn't do it, and thanks to that, even Piast realized that all the researches that he was conducting throughout his life were meaningless because there was nobody else to tell him, look, I think this theory is partially correct, but you should also check on that. Or, I don't agree with this, I think this is better. Can we work together to verify if what I'm saying is correct or not? And then you reach a final result. But without anybody else, Badeni will do the same mistake, and it's pointless. It's just a waste of time. So even Badeni should have learned from a Piast mistake and understand that it didn't take anywhere, rather than reaching the end of his life, so wasting lots of time, and then pass the torch. Passing the torch is not wrong. We saw that throughout this story. Passing the torch is very important for the legacy of this research, and to give the initial credits to those who were brave enough to start those researches. But it's also important because that makes you understand that if previous researchers were making mistakes, then things were evolving little by little, thanks to the meeting of new people, thanks to the cooperation, and thanks for sharing those ideas. So Badeni now needs to step on his pride, let's say, step on everything that he's believing, stepping on his stubbornness, and try to understand that not all people are the same. As much as I told you previously, I don't think this is easy to do. Of course, if you were betrayed in life and if you felt delusional about certain behaviors, it's not easy to start trusting again. But I think that if people give you the chance to at least try, we should never lose the hope, as much as Oxy says, to find anyway somebody else that can prove us wrong. So I hope that Badeni will make the right choice. That means don't get rid of Oxy. And I really hope that Oxy can survive in this, because Novak, once again, can let you understand that these multiple faces he's using based on the context are more dangerous than Badeni's research is for real. Novak is afraid that Yolenta knows, because Yolenta can do something, no matter if she's a woman or not. But anyway, she can feel disappointed. She can decide to not to talk to her father again. And Novak has a huge price to pay: the loss of love, the loss of his daughter's love. That is one of the most important things, because he decides to follow the orders of the bishop, who is commissioning him to investigate about these heretics. But in this case, he wants to investigate because he's afraid of Yolenta's position in society, because she's a woman, because she can be called a witch and whatsoever in the future, by getting in touch with these rebellious researchers. If I can try to understand Novak's point of view, the only thing that I can say is that in that period of time, being a woman and follow some rebellious people was pretty dangerous. So I'm not saying that Novak doesn't care about his daughter, but at the same time, he's hiding from his daughter something that it's gonna scare her, it's gonna let her feel disappointed, and the risk is that he's gonna lose her. So what's more important, the devotion you have, or let's say your job that you fulfill based on what the church says, or the love of your life? That's something very interesting, because some people put aside love of a family and everything to trust something else, to devote themselves to something else based on the fear they have to lose their status, their power, the money, and everything. It's always the same things, How much are you sure to pay? I mean, what's the price that you have to pay in order to change your intentions? And in this case, Novak is in between. He finds himself in between a family and position. And everything that he does is connected by the fear he has of the consequences from both sides. Because if he is discovered by Yolenta, he's gonna lose her. And if the church sees that Novak doesn't respect the orders, he's gonna lose his position where he is right now. An important inquisitor, or let's say the trainer of the new inquisitors. On the other side, you see that one of these new people who decided to join this expedition, decided to rebel. But unfortunately, he died because he was sleeping on a stone. So as you can see, sometimes the destiny can't be changed. And at that time, I think that people like Novak thought, oh, God is punishing him because he decided to rebel. That's the main thing, But let's call it destiny in this case. It's not a matter of God's will or something like that. Or it could even be a coincidence of what happened, but that makes you understand that at that time, not only people like Badeni or Oxy or Yolenta were starting to visualize things in a different way, but even other people like those didn't want to follow the orders, because they understood somehow that something was starting being wrong. And when you perceive something like this, you can't betray your own instinct. As I told you, the sixth sense that tells you, look, something is gonna become wrong here, so let me step away from it. I like Badeni's character for many reasons, no matter if sometimes I agree with what he says or not. I also like Oxy, as I told you, because especially in this episode, he found the courage, the audacity to follow what he wants to do based on the inspiration. Yes, this is another important word for this story, because inspiration can give you the motivation to do something. And I think that Oxy really needed motivation in his life. And thanks to that, he could restart building a new life for himself that gave him more satisfaction. When you do something that you really appreciate, you feel inspired, you feel motivated, but you also feel satisfied. And that makes you feel alive. And so, even when he was saying that he doesn't care now about going to hell and whatever, because he's following what he likes to do, he's doing what he desperately wants to do. And there's nothing, not even heaven or hell, that can stop him. That courage can give him the chance to go to heaven somehow. Because if you believe, if you strongly believe in what you think, then you can have the access to heaven. I mean, if I were God, I would have said, oh look, but he's courageous and he prefers to believe in himself. That's something great. The self-esteem and the courage can let this person fight for what he wants. So letting him access to heaven instead. But what I say is that Oxy finally is not blinded anymore. His eyes are open, and he, for the first time, he's deciding for himself and not based on what the society told him to believe. This awakening is very powerful, and I think that even Badeni, who was listening to him, he gave the chance to Oxy to express his feelings, and that's something that didn't happen before. So even Badeni, little by little, is disclosing his heart based on the person he sees in front of himself, and he's starting following his feelings too, his instinct. And I think that that's thanks to Oxy. So I really hope that these two stay together, because these aliens can be very powerful, and I really hope that even Yolenta joins them, because she also needs a place where she can be recognized, where she can feel protected, and where she can share her thoughts without being accused of anything, without being afraid that she can be targeted by somebody because of what she says. That's really important. So this trio has to go on in this story. Last but not least, I really appreciated some scenes throughout this episode where they were underlining the power of this story. The moment in which Badeni is benedicting, let's say, with the holy water, Oxy, makes you understand that even Badeni was approving the courage he had and the strength that he put out to protect something he really believed in. The same method is used by Badeni when he is researching, when he does his researches. So he could see himself even in a different vision. But then he could see himself in Oxy, even if the subject was completely different. But at the same time, they have something in common. These will to keep researching and to find the truth without being stopped by others. I think that what Oxy did towards Badeni was a matter of friendship. But then he will realize this later, I guess, not right now, because he's still stuck in his old beliefs. And as you can see, by the way, when you connect with somebody else, automatically you will change. You can't stay the same, because the person in front of you can tell you his or her story, and you can be influenced by that. He or she can give you a suggestion that can influence yourself anyway. So I think that Badeni somehow is also afraid to be contaminated by other people's ideas. I mean, he wants to stay pure in all of the logic he's using and in all of the researches he's using. And he thinks that this is the ultimate way to reach the truth, to not feel influenced, to not feel contaminated by what other people are saying. But he doesn't understand that that's wrong. That the opposite can help him more, because if he has multiple opinions, multiple visions, he has the chance to extend his mind and to visualize all these plans more carefully and with a longer distance. So if you see things from a distance, you have the full panorama. But if you focus too much on one thing, you don't see the rest. So what Oxy told him is completely true. And this kind of discussion or this kind of argument comes from a person who's not that intelligent, who's not that able to be a genius. But it doesn't matter, because everyone can be powerful about something in particular. Nobody has to be a genius to say something intelligent. So even what Oxy said, he's pretty intelligent, even if he's not a mathematics, even if he is not a physics, even if he is not having any major in any of these subjects. That's another kind of intelligence that comes from your heart, that comes from your feelings and how you perceive the situation, that Badeni is lacking of. And that's why I said that this combination can make something great. Last but not least, Yolenta. Yeah, we don't see Yolenta in this episode, but if I follow my instincts, I think that Yolenta will discover this soon and will join the team. Because Yolenta loves her father based on the appearance. She doesn't know her father for real, and that's the problem. She was always taking care of him, and she was having this idea. She was idealizing her father, and that's dangerous, let's say. When you idealize a person, of course, later you will have a disappointment. It's obvious, because by not knowing the other half or the 3/4 that are still a secret for you, once you get in touch with those, you will think, oh, I thought my father was something else, and now I have the full vision of who he is, and what do I think about him? So even the thoughts about the father will change, even the approach to him will change. And probably this will be a good thing, because Yolenta will find the way to feel free once for all. Because the father told him, no, don't do that, please stay there, don't go out, don't reach, don't study, or study but don't say anything. She was not free. So I think that this disappointment can lead her to something good. But anyway, let's see how the story goes on, and see you next time with episode 13 of Orb on the Movements of the Earth. Thank you so much for the support, and keep following the next episode. See you in the next video.